Alrighty, Doc here. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And they've just come out with earnings. Earnings for the retailers. Right there, you can see it right there across the Ducascopy screen. Overall sales, autos, X, the whole bit. Slow economy. The world is slow. We're going through that. You see China, as we always warn here, it's a dangerous place to invest. They're trying to lower the rates. They're trying to get growing, but communism doesn't grow. So I don't understand why people think it does, but I've not seen it so far. Or we would have the CCCP. We'd have Cuba would be the place to run to, not run away from. Venezuela would be a place to run to, not run away from. I just don't get it. But that's me, I don't understand why some people think that communism and socialism would actually grow. It doesn't. If it did, there would be, instead of iPhones, there might be the people's phone. And it would be 3 times better than an iPhone or a Samsung. They don't grow. And I just don't understand. They've never grown. I've never seen a communist country grow. I've never seen a socialist country grow. But for some reason, it goes with that Albert Einstein thing, keep on doing the same thing over and expect a different result. And that's, I guess, what is hope's eternal? I guess it's a spiritual thing. Socialism and communism is some type of spiritual thing, and they just refuse to give up. And that's God bless them. Let them do. If that's what they dig, that's what they dig. But why anybody would expect economic numbers to work better, I have no idea. And it always amazes me. And I warn here about the odd situations going on, in China, and how we can't get enough data, and how I'm always trying to hunt down and understand what's going on. But at the same time, people don't take it serious. They actually think that China is the second largest economy, and they believe the I guess you could call it the hype. It's like a hype, They actually believe this stuff, and there is no changing anybody's mind. It seems like, and I just show the stats that make no sense. One of our titles no more than last week was, China GDP makes no sense, and that's the way it goes. So what are we gonna do? All right, let's get over and take a look at the dollar again today. I guess you could say it's one of the ways of understanding world economies. When you look at currency pairs in general, the concept really is that very active currencies are places to be, and places that have no real currency are the places not to be. That's the way I look at it. What do we know that China's what is it? The average volume is about 2 to 2.5% a day, whereas the euro is I don't know. It's out of the 6 currencies in the dollar index, the euro is 53% of it. It's the second most actively traded currency in the world. Japan is number 3. Dollar number 1. Even Switzerland, with 8 million people, their currency trades more than China does. So, it's when you don't get the statistics that you can read, Janos talked about it, how following the fundamentals, and the fundamentals have become distorted because of quantitative easing. So the next thing we can only do is to look at the way things trade themselves. In other words, look at the value of it and see if we can understand it. Like yesterday, we saw the ruble get up to almost 102.5. They raised their interest rates in the Russian Federation to 12.5% or 12%, I think it was, overnight. And the currency fell down to 95, and last I saw it was at 98. These are the ways we can try to understand the fundamental side. We're looking for it. We do all the technical here. That's what we're doing, is we live and die by technical analysis, and it's very accurate compared to fundamentals anymore. So you see there on the screen, there is the dollar index. You can see it's a little unchanged, maybe down a little bit. It's got a little red dot going on. It's been in a daily buy for, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the 7th day in a daily buy. See it. Let's remove that stuff over on J4X. There we go. And there's the dollar index there doing the same thing. It's been, there's 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a daily buy. You can see that the blue line is at 86.6. The slower is right underneath it at 85, almost 85.8. So it's very close. It's trying to top out a little bit. We were looking for this area to become the, the resistance, I guess you could call it. It could be sometimes they refer to it as a ceiling. We're figuring that it might even get a little bit higher. It might even go after, get above here and then play in this area here towards that 103.5. But, well, it's, the day is young. We'll see how they trade. We are seeing interest rates slowly inch their way up in the States here. Not a lot, just a little. But as I take a sip of my water there. The challenge at this moment in time for marketplace in particular, the currency pairs and so forth, is they're trying to, find where is value. What price discovery, true value, and right now the currency pairs are basically some of the better places to trade solely because they work off the technical analysis and what fundamentals are left. Pretty good compared to the rest, whereas the stock market itself and so forth is just bought because there's nowhere else to go. So in other words, they have this capital, they got to invest it. And is Janos out there? Janos, you around? How about the U.S. Steel yesterday, huh? I didn't mention it during the webinar, but that was one of my the 5 stocks you were talking about, and someone jacked the thing up about 30%, something like that, 25%. I think it was like 20. Actually, I think it was 20. It went from 23 to 29. The stock, that is the classic. They go and try to buy those industrial companies when the markets are starting to turn. That's usually when it happens. So I see it starting to turn, but only mentally, not the price action itself yet. All right. From here, we go over to, I guess we'll go to the euro and see what the euro's up to. Euro on the wall. All right. And there is the euro. You see that pressure that's been on it. Put it up over here. Right there. And there's the euro. You can see the pressure is on the downside. Has not let go. And doesn't seem like it's going to. What else can we say about that? Let's take a look at the weekly. You can see the weekly went into that weekly sell last week. We got the same situation going over here on J4X. That's been in a weekly sell for a while, actually. You can see 4 hinkies red. The blue is at 18.7. The yellow is at 32. That pressure has been on it for weeks. And it really, when you really look at it off of the the Dukascopy, the J4X, it really hadn't made a real move. It's not a big move compared to that move or this move. It's a very shallow sell-off. Not a lot of conviction. Markets are, kind of dragging out, I guess you could say. So let's see what else we got going on here. Let's take a look at the daily again. And nothing else more to be said but the pressure that we've been seeing for days and days. And we'll see, if this blue finally gets going by tomorrow or something like that. Now, from there, let's reach over to, where do we reach over to? Let's go to the GBP. There's the Great British Pound. You see it's trying to get into a daily buy. We got a green dot. Oop, the green dot was there a few seconds ago. And we got a red dot. And it's through the zero line as we speak. And you can see there's the green dot again. And the weekly went into a weekly sell last week. And it is trying to pressure its way into a second week of it. Quiet morning, huh? When it comes to people looking at the markets. Now let's take a look at cable right there. You see that blue starting to kick up. See where the blue line itself at 30, basically 0.2 or 0.1, and the yellow is at 24. So they're trying to get this thing going, and we're seeing it over here. We're through the zero line right there, and we've got a little green and red. When the red disappears, it will just show more buying going on. From here, where do we go from here? We go over to the Swiss. Let's see what the Swiss is up to. Dollar Swiss right there. Pressure's been on it for the last 5 or 6 days. 6 days now. You can see here it's at 67.8, and underneath here is at 73. So this is below the yellow, so it's having problems here. And at the same time, over on Chicago Quant, there we are. You see the weekly's even kicking up this week. And we've been in a daily buy this is the 5th day. And you can see the same thing over on J4X. Actually, it's going on a 6th day on J4X, but the line is below. So the pressure has been, and it's not a big pressure, but it seems like the I guess you could say the currencies and the interest rates are fluctuating to the point where we don't trust this time of the year. We always say that, but more than that, as you can see that the Swiss is trying to lift, and that's a pretty good lift. But then look, it was down in the 85s. This is a product that was at 101 last November, December. So now it's it's traded down to 85 and change. That's like a 15% shift. And you can see, here we are trying to get back into the same situation. It's trying to just take some profits. It's slow time of the year. It's all those things matched together. I'm just drinking away. So, quiet morning with no questions. Mountain yesterday was really into it. Let's see what we got else going on here. I don't have much more to say about the Swiss. Let's see what it looks like on a weekly on J4X right there. A couple weeks matching with our fast. That's why we made the line blue instead of green. They're through. Now we've got the strength kicking out here with the slow, but the fast is starting to dive underneath the manifold one. And this, I'm not totally convinced. I mean, there's no doubt. I saw the bonds this morning, and they've been gaining against. In other words, interest rates have been going up, but they've been not moving up fast. They're just kind of stumbling forward, I guess you'd say. It looks like a stumble. It doesn't look like any real conviction. Markets are just kind of stalled. We got Jackson Hole coming up, and there's all kinds of fantasies out there. And now we got the Chinese actually trying to stimulate their economy by lowering the interest rates. I mean, it's I guess Robin was saying to me was what news came out that knocked the market down overnight, and I said, well, China lowered interest rates, and they discontinued some of their economic statistics like youth unemployment. And he was like, "Oh, I thought something big came out." And I said, "Well, the world is depending. They've been saying it over and over and over again. They're depending on China to get going. They think that China is going to. They were hoping that China would help. When China opened up like 7-8 months ago, from the COVID situation, the market people in general were like, "All right, yay! This is going to carry the market." And it popped it for a while, then they sold it down, and then now we're popped back up again. And and China is not showing any real leadership, and it's not really showing. As I was complaining every so often I complain about what's going on in China, and the other one was like a couple of days before the last one was they didn't bail out some real estate. And if you think you have a second largest economy in the world in the high teens in trillions, if you really have that type of capital, then when a major real estate problem occurs, you don't walk away from it for 400 million, 375 million. You don't walk away from it. You embrace it. You help it. You cut out the problems. But not China. They just walk away from things like that, which makes me enormously disbelieving that they have anything. They're not. I don't think their economy is any bigger than, say, Japan or something like that. Really, the European Union in my head is the second largest economy in the world, and I do not see China as the second or third. I see it more like it could be anywhere from 3 to 5. It could be probably the same size as Japan, or a little bit bigger than or a little bit bigger than Japan, that type of thing. But I don't see them in the double-digit trillions. I just don't see that. And everything we see and we watch and we look for tells us that we're right, that it's not, it's not that big an economy, but it has a lot of population. Whereas America, with like 350 million people, is bigger than the next 10 countries. So population doesn't do it. It's the system itself, adhering to laws and having good rules and, a good legal system and, things like that. All right. From there, we'll slide over to the yen. Probably the third largest economy in the world, with the European Union being the second largest economy in the world, and then Japan is probably bouncing back and forth with China on who's bigger. And they have 100 million people, and China has like over 1 billion people, and I don't think there's much of a difference when it comes to the economy. Number wise, we know Japan is way more productive. That's for sure. Way more productive. All right, and there's the yen. Yen has been climbing. We've been talking about this. We've been really surprised it got through the 135 area. We really didn't see that. We really thought that that was going to stay the way of the Swiss franc, but we got into a daily buy. We got into weekly buys, and you can see it's fluctuated. It doesn't know how to get in and out of it. It goes daily, weekly sell here, and then weekly buy, then weekly sell, and back into the weekly buy. And from this last one, each one has been good buys too. That was a good buy right there on that weekly buy. And they didn't really give us sells. I guess this is the only sell they gave right there, and it didn't last long, just a day or two, and it was a failure. And we go into a weekly buy, and you can see it's been a nice run. So That's the, as far as I can tell, is the third largest economy in the world after the European Union. And I would love to actually see results from China that would show them growing, but I don't see any growth. And they seem not to be able to pay their debt. That's the weirdest part. If you're the second largest economy in the world with 17, 18 trillion, you pay your debt when it's only like $200 or $300 million. Pay it. It's not billion. It's only millions. It's pennies. It's not even a rounding number. And the fact that they don't pay it tells us less is more sometimes, All right, now from there, let's see what the yen looks like up on J4X. There's the weekly. You see it's kind of banging up against the towards the top part of the range, minus the 40-year high where it says 151.94. But we've made new highs here. You can see that on J4X right there. Blue is at 84.4 and slow is at 69.4. So that is, oh, we got a hello. There's the Robin. Hey, Robin. So what else can we say about the yen? I guess that's about it. Now we'll go over to the Turkish lira, the ongoing research project. Let's put it up on Chicago Quant. Right there. Kind of quiet day yesterday. How about that? After almost going after all-time highs 2 days ago. There's the all-time high right there. You can see the manifold, is still, the slow is underneath it. You can see the weekly is actually threatening, which is kind of interesting. And let's put that up over on J4X. Trying to get into that sell also. See it right there. The blue is at 52. The slow is at 66. There's that pressure. And then you can see it over here on Chicago Quant. It is down on the edge at 0.03. It wants to roll over. Let's see now. From there, where do we go from there? I guess the next one would be the Mexican peso, which we're really waiting for next week for that, because the BRIC conference is next week, and we'll find out if the Mexican peso gets moved into the BRICS. With a ruble going through 105 or 102, and China, slowing down economically, does Mexico realize they will be the powerhouse in the BRICS, the one real economy? Let's see, where are we at there? Oh, that's right. Okay, so peso. There it is. And you see the peso has been for 3 weeks now, or going on a third week. Let's put it up on J4X, or on Chicago Quant, right there. So we've been in there for 3 weeks also on our fast. Our slow is joining in. It tried to fail through it last week, and now it's joining in again, showing strength. Maybe they want to take it up to this 18 area again. Hard to believe. 1750, 1775 seems to be a really good ceiling. But, we'll see what they do and when they do it, and just follow the math. That's the answer to everything as far as I'm concerned. Now from there, we go over to the daily. And you see daily is trying to lift up today. It's been showing that attempt, kind got into the buy there, then we went into the sell. I guess it was right there. Then we went right back into a buy again. So bing bing, let's put them in. There. And there. Oh, and there's a third one. And there. So that's the buy. There we are. Really choking down there at the bottom. Now, we haven't heard or read anything. If anybody does hear anything about the bricks, shout it out on a chat line. Whatever day you see it, we'll go hunt it down. But so far, the only thing we're really seeing out of it all is that the currency has found that that 6-7 year low, and it's just sitting down there. And can you imagine if it does join the BRICS, it'll be the major brick. It will be, the Chinese yuan and the Russian ruble barely trade, so and they're being blocked because of the war from trading, and so that's really the story of it all. Is that the trust? If you're going to trust anything, trust prices, and the prices say that not happening. That's what it says. It's not happening. All right, from there we go over to, and this way we can go into the metals too at the same time. Let's find South African Rand. I saw that's marching up too. There it is right there. You see that strength in there. Let's just show you the weekly. There it is right there. Yeah, it missed it here, but the fast has been in there for this is the third week. Just like on the J4X, you can see there's 3 bars of green. The fast is at 81.9. The slow is at 54. So they're really pushing it up. They're not afraid, that's for sure. They are not afraid. All right, now let's go to, let's see, let's leave the South African Rand up on the J4X. Give it a little bit of flavor there, and then let's look at gold. There's gold. And you can see we made some lows today. I think we got down to 6 or 7. Where did we get down to? Oh, okay. I know it was 6 or 7. It was the spot. The spot got down to there. Let's go take a look at it on J4X. Right there, they're showing that it broke the $1,900 area. 1896. 1896. And then let's take a look at the silver. Right there. Silver riding down the same way. Lots of pressure for days. In a weekly sell in gold there for the second week, and 3 weeks in the fast. Now there's silver, and silver did the same thing, closed in a weekly sell last week. It's the third week in a weekly sell in the fast, and this is the second week in the slow. And it wasn't a buy here for a couple of days, and now it's failing again, which seems to be the classic normal recipe at this point in time. All right, now let's save that too while we're here. Gold was kind of the surprising one this morning. When I saw it down at like 1906, about, I guess it's almost 4 hours ago now. I was like, wow, that's really, you know, every time it seems to me every time you would think that gold would go up in value because of the economic news, it finds a way to roll over. The central banks definitely have their pedal to the metal when it comes to trading these products. There we are. Let's see how copper looks this morning, especially with that interest rate drop. So they took it up. You can see it took out yesterday's high, and now it's down, making lows again. But this product, let's put it up on J4X too, because copper is really become tight in a range. There it is right there. You see, I mean, it looks like it's active, but it's really not. It's been bouncing in the 350 area, basically up to the 340 area, 340 20s, 30s, something like that. And and even when it got really knocked down, coming down from the 4s and the 5s, it got down to 3 and change, like 310, 312, something like that. Hey, Janos. I was thinking about doing recordings for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. How do I do that? I haven't done it in a long time. Just start recording and then send it to you? Or maybe I'm going to have to cancel out. I'm going to that camp I go every year, and it's a little bit further away this year. So I'm not going to be able to do my webinars as easily from there. And I was thinking about taking a computer, but I'm not sure if they have an Ethernet line. So I was thinking about doing recordings and sending them to you instead. Oh, what about that? Did you hear what I said about U.S. Steel? Did you see that jump it did yesterday? The stock was around, what, 22.23? It jumped to 29.30. That was wild. So. I might cancel out tomorrow, and then I'll do live on Thursday, and then miss Friday. I think that might be the way it's going to go. Let me know what you're thinking. All right, now from copper, we slide over to platinum. And again, it is amazing to me, and I'm sure a lot of people, that the metals complex is not finding ways to go up. It seems to find ways to go down. Let's see, platinum right there. Platinum went into the sell yesterday. Now the weeklies dived into it. The fast had been in there for like 3 weeks, but now it's really breaking down. The classic Wall Street situation is that basically you try to anticipate 6 months ahead of what possibly could come. And I guess they're looking at this and they're saying, the economy's going to be firmer, and we won't need metals, and Mr. Trump is going to make things lower inflation. So I guess that's what we're watching right now, and they're anticipating that. And when you asked me to pick 5 stocks, that one stock that I picked, which is like in my mind and in a lot of hedge fund people's minds, is that you reach for companies like that about 6 months before everybody starts to think that stuff. Not that it actually comes to fruition, but they start to think, ooh, the economy could turn around in 4 or 5 months, 6 months. Let's start buying that now. And what did they do 2 days later after we did that? The stock leaped. Let's see if we can show you. Where is that at? Since we finished the metals, all we have is energies to do. So I figure I'll go hunt down the U.S. Steel. That's all right. I like the idea that you want me to do that more often. We'll start to look into that. It's because this is the time to do it, really. Gym buddy equals friend I have since the university dorms. Wow, we live together. Cool. Well, I like that idea of looking at the what where money is probably going to be driving towards, not just the stock indices. And so let's see if I can find the steel, because what a hoot that was. Let's see, put it in the Nevada spot. Look at Nevada trying to lift up again today. That was one of them too. 2 days in a row of firmness. Let's go to steel. X marks the spot. Didn't we do it on this? I guess we didn't. Okay, let's do this. Cancel. Close. I'm going to close this. And let's go over to the new platform. Close. File. Close workspace. There we are. Let's put it up that way. There it is. And let's find steel. Blue steel. Blue mahogany. Let's see. Right there. Where is X? X must be here somewhere. How did we look at it if it's not on this? Because it's not on the other platform. X. Alright, let's put it in there. Alrighty. I thought I put it in somewhere. I guess I just had the idea in my head. Save. Ta-da. Now let's give this a refresh. And there it is, right there at the bottom. Steel. X marks the spot. And it's in a weekly buy for one, going on a second week. And there's that spike. Oh, it was yesterday it spiked. Yeah, yesterday. And that's something. It went from 22 to 30, over 32. A 30, what's that? It's a 50% move. That's pretty cool. So I feel pretty good. I just put my old hedge fund hat on and started thinking, MVDA, U.S. Steel, trying to figure out what will the money want to look for. I've seen it too many times not to know. And so there it is. So I like that idea. We'll do that. We'll explore some of the stocks right here, matching them up with, maybe we'll find some opportunity currency wise. We'll look at it like a Samsung. And you take a look at the Korean. I think it's. I'm not even sure what it is. Is it a won? Korean something. Let's see the Korean currency. The Dung or something like that. And then, so that's steel yesterday. Wild, huh? And there's the weekly right there. Second week in a weekly buy. So the money was starting to come in last week. They were starting to think, we want to nibble on this. That's pretty much what it came down to. Let's nibble on that. Exactly. All right. From there, let's move that off the screen again. And let's see what's going on over here. So you see, going to get a bump in the terminal rate. Let's see. I'm gonna just answer this one. China is in trouble. All right. So from there, let's go over to Canadian, and we'll look at the energy sector. There's dollar CAD. And again, that thing has been going totally the wrong way. I mean, it is not. I wonder what NZD. Let's see what NZD is doing. We used to follow they used to call it the loonie trade. And the NZD CAD was a really good indicator. Like, see how this is going down? So it, like, in other words, I guess it's let's see, how's that? That's NZD, so it's losing against the Canadian, and Canadian is gaining. Okay, so, and that matches up much better with the oil market at the same time. So let's take a look at the oil market. Lime in the coconut, and there it is right there. Oh, I wanted to save this platinum too. Let's do that. There we are. And there is crude oil. And let's put J4 on. Let's put up on J4X. Let's put up Brent, and then we can throw Brent into ours too at the same time, which this way you get to see our weekly and daily. Brent. Let's see. Okay, where's the Brent? There it is. Brent. It's BZ, there it is. And so there's the Brent. Let's move it over on the screen there. See, it's still in a weekly buy for, what's that, 6? It's 8 weeks in a weekly buy. Daily sell is 2 days now. It's been playing with the sell, just like, here's a front month September oil. It's been in the sell for 3 days. Feeling the pressure. You can see the weekly's getting much lower down. Let's see. Did you see the graph showing direct foreign investment in China? No! Can you throw that up on the screen? I heard it's slowly, diminishing. It's not. I don't know if it's not minus, but I understand it's pulling back over the last year and a half. Look, there's so many factories there, and all that slave labor, and it benefits a lot of these companies. They talk one way and then they invest another way. It's usually kind of weird, but that's what they do. Yeah, put that graph up. I want to see that. And we'll keep on pushing the energy until you put that up. And then, so there's the September contract at 81.71. Let's see what the November contract looks like right there. 81.71. It's $1. I guess there's $1 difference between the two. Yeah, $1.06. It was around, 92 cents? 88 cents 2 days ago? Let's see, slowly. It has plummeted. Yeah, it's been doing it. I've been watching that over the last couple of years. It's just been like the last year and a half in particular. Money's not coming back. I was saying that at the beginning. I don't know if you heard it. I'm so confused why they would think China could be a world power, financially. I just don't see that. There's not a communist country out there that's ever done it. I don't understand. It's very odd. Not even a good socialist country. The socialist, I guess the closest one of being successful would be Japan, right? And they're in debt up to their eyebrows. So, socialism really is a tough thing to grow on. And China claims to be a communist nation. So, I mean, forget it. CCCP would be still here if it worked. Let's put it that way. they didn't exactly walk away from it for. Oh, there we go. Let's see. How do I get this too? Oh, that's Nikkei. Okay, let's see if I can get this. Foreign investment in China falls to lowest level on record. It's going to keep on doing that. It really is. It's going to keep on doing that. Beijing foreign investment. Let's see if we can find the chart. Maybe I can move it over to it. They're not showing me a chart here. Tighter regulations. Biden's ban doesn't start for like 2 more years. I don't see a chart on that. It's just more of a story. Let's see if how do I get that up over here? Well, I don't see a chart. So let's see. Shop now. No, I don't want to shop now. Ah, I see. I could do this. There we are. Here we go. I found a way to get it over to us. Do do do. Do 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 do. Here it comes. Let's see. It says direct investment foreign companies in China in the second quarter totaled about 4.5, about basically $5 billion. Okay. And 87% decrease. 87%. Ouch. On the year. You know, that's why I always keep on saying they're like a colony of ours. Why they act the way they do has me totally perplexed. Okay, here we go. We got that article now. There it is right there. But I don't see any chart. They see that. You know, when you really think direct investment is under $5 billion. And it was up near almost $10 billion. That's not exactly a lot of money. In a 18 or 17 in a 17 here's that thing I was complaining about a week and a half ago. I keep it up on the platform, up on the desktop. I'm sorry, it's on the desktop. There's China, 19.4 trillion. No way in the world they have 19.4 trillion. None, zero. Oh. Let's do this. I don't know how they could have 19.4 trillion, except for having a currency that's fixed at like in the 6.5, 7 area all the time. If that thing goes like the ruble and just doubles, all of a sudden you're at 9, under 9 trillion, or I guess you're 9 trillion, above 9 trillion. And if it triples the way the ruble has at times, now obviously there's 100 ruble to the dollar. But I mean, if it just gets up into the 20s, you only have a $5 or $6 trillion economy. It all comes down to the pricing the currency. That's what I always try to emphasize, and that's the thing that drives me crazy is no one talks about it. I have to be right because no one wants to talk about it. Let's see. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, see, they were hoping after COVID and they opened up. Everybody was like, oh, China's opening up. They can get the economy going in the world. It's like, really? Why would you think that? Let's see what that last one says. Escalating U.S.-China tension are having a chilling effect on the corporate investment plan. In fall of 22, American Chamber of Commerce and the People's Republic of China asked approximately 320 members companies about the business risk they faced in China market. U.S.-China tension was the most common answer mentioned 66% of the time. Yeah, it makes sense. 2/3. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., promoting the idea of a friend shoring which would build supply chains with friendly countries on Wednesday, Biden announced tighter regulations on investment in China. Yeah, I understand those things are going to start in like 2 years, though. And in China, in such areas as semiconductors and artificial, intelligence, new investments through joint ventures are included in this. What could further hamper investment? Yeah, well, it's as far as we can tell so far, it's the cockroach hotel. You can put your money in there, but you can't get it out. And you can see people who have bought real estate and so forth there, and when they go under, since they're controlled by the government, you would think the government would bail them out if you have a $19 trillion economy. And why they keep $1 trillion parked in U.S. bonds is because they don't trust anywhere else to put their money. Why they keep on beating us with a stick, I have no idea. It's some of the less smarter ways of going diplomatically. Let's put it that way. All right, now, thank you, Giannis. Yeah, and then I keep this always around now. I keep it on the desktop. I am convinced that China might be just a little bit greater than Japan with numbers. Maybe it's probably like China and Korea put together. So it's probably like South Korea is 1.7 trillion, China is 4.4. So that's like in the sixes. I would say with they get almost $300 billion in buying from us every year. But isn't it amazing that let's see if we can find Mexico on here, because Mexico is the second largest or the number one exporter. Mexico is 1.7 trillion too, and Canada is 2.1. So if it's a $19.47 trillion economy, how come Mexico imports into the United States more than China? None of these things make any sense anymore. China is smoke and mirrors. That's all it is. All right, from there, let's move this off the screen. And we're going to zip over to natural gas. And there's natural gas. And you can see there it's trying to dip down a little bit. It's in a sell for 3 days, but the weekly buy has jumped up from last week. And they've lifted it for a day here. This is the second day of the week. They made a new high. Now they're making new lows. It's not exactly something super duper positive. And then let's go over to J4X, and we'll take a look at that country, that oil company down in Spain. And let's put that in there. Right there. In the 25s now, 25.99. And let's put it up on the screen here. Where is it at? It's right there. There we go. There it is, breaking the 25 area. Been in a daily sell for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of the last 11 days it's been in a daily sell. It's went into the weekly sell last week. It's pressing down there even more this week. And looks like they're, I guess they're figuring out new ways to get, natural gas in the right way, I guess you could say. So, all right, Janos. Hey, Janos, like I said, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I'll be here Thursday. And if there's a problem, I'll text you tomorrow afternoon about that. Okay? So I'll be off Thursday. I'll be off tomorrow. Or I was thinking about doing a recording. If you want to text me about doing the recording, I can talk to you about that. Because I can do the recording, but I can't do a live for tomorrow. So, let's see what else we got to say. I guess that's about it. So this is Doc from North America saying happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be Thursday. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Catch you on Thursday. This is Doc saying over and out. Let's see. Right.